girls, welcome to my preview. Atletico Madrid against Arsenal, Europa League second leg, 90 minutes away from a final. And to be quite honest, we should probably already be in the final after that first leg. How that game finished 1-1, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. We absolutely battered them. I know a lot of people will say they had 10 men for about 80 minutes. But even before the sending off, we had two massive chances. Lacazette hit the post and Oblak made one of many blinding saves. After that, it was just relentless. Attack after attack after attack. And some unlucky finishing, some poor finishing, and some amazing goalkeeping is what actually kept them in the game. We took the lead and I thought, okay, we can move on from here. Let's get at least one more. Let's take a second goal. I was watching their substitutions. They were taking off attacking players and bringing on defensive players. They basically said, let's get out of here 1-0. They didn't even care about scoring an away goal. They just wanted to get out of there, damage limitation, and then try and repair the job when they get to the second leg. And then out of nowhere, one long ball. Danny Welbeck trying to run through brick walls, falling over, long ball, Lauren Koscielny, instead of kicking it into Rosette or even heading it back to Ospina, he tries to flick it over his head, over Griezmann's head, and it smacks him in the face. Griezmann goes through, Ospina saves it, and then to compound it, it looks like Mustafi's covering and he's actually going to get the block in. And he falls over. And Atletico go and get the away goal. 1-1. Even after that, Aaron Ramsey, brilliant header. Thought it was going in all day long. Going to get the lead again. And Oblak, again, another save. Just one of those days. It very reminiscent to me of the Manchester United game, where we absolutely battered them. And if it wasn't for David De Gea, we'd have had about 6 or 7 that day. I know we conceded 3, but believe me, Man United were lucky they didn't concede 6 or 7. We always seem to come up against the goalkeepers that have absolute worldies against us. But for this leg, we're going to need to find the net. We have to score a goal. If we get one, it cancels out theirs. But we have to try and remain tight at the other end. Sounds absolutely crazy that I'm trying to say we stay tight at the other end with how poor our defensive record is. I'm going into the game ready for it. I'm going into it, with a bit of optimism and a bit of hope, because without hope, there's no point. And if you don't believe we can do it, then there's no point in us going out there. So hopefully we can put in one of those European performances that we can be proud of, and we can get the job done. I do think we are going to score out there, fingers crossed. But it's what we do at the other end. I think Diego Costa's going to have a big part to play in this game. He never came off the bench at the Emirates. But you've got to remember as well that Atletico, they've got no recognised right back for this game, because obviously with the sending off in the first leg, Juan Fran as well, he's injured. So maybe that's an area that we could exploit. I've got a sneaky feeling that this one may go to extra time. It'll be interesting to see what kind of formation and setup Atletico play. Will they go for it, or will they say, you know what, we don't need to win. Let's just keep it tight and we'll take a 0-0. Be interesting, that's for sure. Be very interesting to see what Diego Simeone does with the team. And I said this the other day. If we would have won that game 3-4, 5-1, like we could have done, I'd actually be more nervous going into this game than what the actual scoreline was of 1-1. Because we seem to play better when we know what we're doing. We went 4-1 up in the game against CSKA Moscow, and look what happened there. Before we know it, 2-0 down. Managed to turn it round, but against a better side like Atletico, we may not have turned that around. So yeah, I think with this, we know what we got to do. So we'll wait and see whether they can or not. In terms of the 1 to 11, this is going to be pretty straightforward for this game, judged on the players that were rested at the weekend against Manchester United. A lot of the players put themselves in contention for this game, but I don't think they're going to be starting. But this is the 11 that I am going to pick. In goal, we're going to go with Cech. Now, I know Ospina's been getting used, but he played against Manchester United. Now, either Wenger's just decided he wants to give him some more minutes to keep him fresh and, you know, really fired and ready for this game, or he's decided that Cech's going to take over as the main goalkeeper and Ospina plays in the Premier League. But for this, I would actually go with Cech. In defence, on the right-hand side, first of all, we're going to go with Hector Bellerin. Had possibly one of his best performances in years in the first leg. He was absolutely superb, and we need the same kind of performance again. So Hector Bellerin. On the left-hand side, we're going to go with Monreal. Pretty straightforward decision. He was up in Manchester the other day. He came on as a sub because Kolasinac got injured, but yeah, he'll start this game all day long. In the central defence, now I know this is where we got problems, and there's been a lot of people saying that we should make some changes, maybe even bring young Mavropanos in instead of Mustafi after his brilliant performance against Manchester United. But I think it's just a little bit too soon, to be quite honest, and it's an almighty gamble. But for this game, we're going to start off with Koscielny. Well, I've said it already about his mistake in the first leg. It was absolutely schoolboy. And this is our captain. This is a seasoned pro, a full international, and he's making stupid errors like that. We can't afford to have any of those errors again. But first of all, we're going to go with Koscielny. Alongside him, we're going to go with Mustafi. Now, he was actually the better out of the two in the first leg. Going into the game, though, he had made a series of errors. 2-3 games in a row where he was just flying in and just being stupid. But again, solid performance needed. The pair of them can't make a single mistake. If you make one mistake at this level, you will get punished. It's as simple as that. Going into the midfield role, first of all, we're going to go with Xhaka. Played up in Manchester. He was actually captain. Don't think he had too bad a performance. He's been getting a lot of criticism, especially from Graham Souness. Bitter old man. And yeah, his first half, you know, it wasn't great, but he stepped up in the second half and he done really well, I thought. And, you know, it's really annoying me that people are very quick to criticise this guy the moment he makes a mistake. But when he's putting in performances in, no one mentions it. None of the pundits. No one talks about it. Double standards. But yeah, Granit Xhaka's going to go in there. In the midfield with a pairing, I'm going to start off with Ramsey. Yeah, he's been playing absolutely brilliant the last few weeks. And he could be crucial for this because he's going to be the one that does the box-to-box. And he's the one that arrives late and can nick a goal. So, Ramsey. Alongside him, we're going to go with Jack Wilshere. The first leg, best I've seen him in a few weeks. That was the Jack Wilshere of old. He was really, really good. Driving through the heart of that midfield. Very good in possession. And it looked like he had a little bit of his old self back again. So, again, same kind of performance. Got to work well with Xhaka. Got to work well with Ramsey. And hopefully they can do that. So, yeah, Jack Wilshere. Next up, we're going to go with Mesut Ozil. Again, first leg, decent performance. Keeping things ticking over. But we need one of them real big performances for this game. Where he's really going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. And he's going to be key. And yeah, this is why we pay him the big money. And these are the kind of games we need him to step up in. So, Mesut Ozil. Now, the next position. Before Sunday, it would have been Danny Welbeck all day long because he's been playing really well lately. But after his performance, I'm going to start off with Henrik Mkhitaryan. I thought he was absolutely superb against Manchester United. And the reason why I'm going to put him in is because he offers that goal threat. I think he's a little bit more clinical than Danny Welbeck. And in this kind of game, this could be crucial. He makes some runs from deep. He drifts right and left, centre. And he could be really difficult to pick up. So I think that he could be a key addition to this side, and he could be the difference between us going through to the final or not. So I'm going to start off with Henrik Mkhitaryan. Up front, main striker, we're going to go with Alexandre Lacazette. Of course, Aubameyang is cup tied. Still winds me up, that does. It's a stupid rule. But Lacazette, 7 goals in his last 7 games. The guy is on fire. How he didn't have more than 1 goal in the first leg, I'll never know. His goal was absolutely brilliant. The way he rose, headed it down. And yeah, he's got to put a performance in, and he's got to find the net if we're going to stand any chance of going through to the final. So there we have it. That is the preview. That is the predicted 1 to 11. Let me know in the comments section, as usual, whether you agree or disagree. Would you make any changes in there, or would you go with it? It's a huge, huge game. 90 minutes from a final. I'm praying that we can get through this one. I really am. This isn't about doing it for Arsene Wenger. This isn't about doing it for anything other than Arsenal Football Club. For the fans, for everyone involved. 90 minutes, boys. And there's a final at the end of it. European final. Don't worry that it's the Europa League and not the Champions League. We've got a massive opportunity. And it's down to you guys to go out there and perform. We'll find out whether you do on Thursday night or not. I'm out of here.